Day one of module 11 on circles. We're going to talk about equations and angles. Today we're going to talk about angles. Our learning target for this is to be able to find equations of circles. Right now that's what our learning target is, and we're going to be more specific with this success criteria that you should be able to write equations in standard form with a radius and a center. So that is what we are looking at today. So again, we are trying to write equations of circles in standard form. So here is your standard form, okay, where H and K is the center of your circle and R is your radius. This subtract sign, it's always the opposite on the inside as far as where that center is. And so if that's negative, it's actually positive when you pull it out to find the circle or the center. So again, these are important notes that you need to know. Again, this is a standard form. We're going to learn about general form tomorrow or the next day. So so this is standard form. So what I want you guys to be able to do is just identify where the center is, which is going to just be in this H and K. That means this is how far it's moved left to right. This is how far it moved up and down. And then there's your radius, how big it is. So if I'm looking at, again, this one, my center is going to be at 9, negative 11. Which moves, it's moved right to the 9 right, and then down 11 from, again, from that center point. And then my radius is going to be the square root of 16, because you have to square root, you have to undo it because it's r squared in the general form. And so this would be 4 would be my radius. And that's really what we're looking at, guys. This is the goal, is to be able to look at, the target to look at an equation and then state what the center and the radius is. Okay, so this one, again, are going to be all in this form here. My center is going to be 1, negative 10, because 1, negative 10. And then my radius is going to be the square root of 4, which is equal to 2. Okay, this third example, again, my center is going to be negative 3, negative 15. And then my radius is going to be the square root of 1, which is equal to 1. Okay, and then this fourth one, again, my center is going to be at 15, negative 6. And then the radius, the radius is going to be equal to, is going to be equal to the square root of 6, which that doesn't come out evenly, so you can just leave it as the square root of 6 for that. We also want to be able to write equations given the center and the radius. So if I'm given the center and radius, I should be able to go the other way. So remember, it's always in this form here with y here and x here. And so it should be in this form. You just got to fill this in. So we've got negative 6, negative 1. So this becomes a positive 6 because it is usually negative. This becomes a positive 1 inside of my equation. And then I have to square 4. So this would be 4 squared, which I'm not going to put as 4 squared. 4 squared is, everybody hopefully said 16. And so that's what that's going to look like after I square that. Okay, this next one, again, this form every time. You're just replacing the H and K and the R. Oops, and the R here. So for this one, we'd go minus 15 because it's always the opposite, and minus 5. Again, the form is x minus, y minus. And then I'm going to square 3, which would give me 9 for that one as well. This third example here, this would be, again, x plus 1 squared, y minus 1 squared, and then we, whoops, sorry. So, sorry, I just wrote that. It's all the same form, but remember, it's always the opposite sign is what we get. And then this is going to equal to 13 squared, which, again, is 169. Okay, this last one here, we've got x, again, plus 15 because of the minus, and then plus y plus 8 squared. Don't forget your squareds. And that equals 3 squared, which 3 squared would be 9 for that one. Okay, looking at these ones, I were going to write an equation. I need to know where the center is and the radius is. So if I look at the center, again, the center here is at negative 3, 3. So this center is at negative 3, 3. And then my radius is, if you just count from the center out to the edge somewhere, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6 long. So when I go to write my equation, this is going to be x plus 3. And then y minus 3. And then 6 squared is 36. Okay, same thing here. This has been moved over 2 and up 3. So this point is at 2, 3. And we are a radius of 2. So that would be x minus 2 plus y minus 3 equals 4 is what you get for that one. And then one more example. This point is at 3, negative 5. Again, 3, negative 5. And the radius is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one would be x minus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals, again, 4 squared, which is 16. And that's how you go through writing those equations for circles. Don't forget this is standard form up here, and you should be ready to rock and roll from there. All right, we'll see you. Bye.